You decided to set up a little drink stand, and suddenly the government has opinions about it. It turns out selling a cup of lemonade to a stranger is a whole legal adventure nobody warned you about. Let's start with the most basic thing that trips people up: the difference between a hobby and a business. The second money changes hands, you are officially in the food service game, and the rules kick in whether you are ready or not. The first thing most cities want from you is a business license, which is basically the government's way of saying, "We see you, now pay us." It usually costs somewhere between $25 and $100 depending on where you live, and you apply through your city or county clerk's office. But here's where it gets spicy. Selling drinks specifically triggers something called a food handler's permit. This is a certification that proves you understand basic food safety, like keeping your boba pearls at the right temperature and not accidentally poisoning your best customer. Most food handler courses take about 2 hours online and cost around $15, which is honestly less than a fancy coffee drink. You can usually find them through your county health department's website, and some states even let you take the test the same day. Now, the big one that shocks a lot of new vendors is the health department permit, sometimes called a mobile food facility permit. This is where an actual inspector might show up, poke around your setup, and decide whether your drink station meets code. No pressure, just your whole business on the line. Health inspectors are looking for things like how you store ice, whether your lemons came from a clean source, and if your cups have a lid when they should. They are not trying to ruin your dreams. They are just making sure your lemonade does not end up on the 6 o'clock news for the wrong reasons. If you are setting up at a farmer's market or a festival, you also need to check whether that event requires its own temporary food permit on top of everything else. Some events issue them automatically with your vendor spot, but others make you apply separately, and missing that step can get you shut down before you sell a single cup. Here is something wild that most people do not know. Some states have cottage food laws that allow certain homemade products to be sold without a full commercial kitchen, but beverages are almost always excluded. Drinks typically require either a licensed commercial kitchen or a health-approved mobile setup because of how quickly liquids can grow bacteria. Boba shops specifically have an extra layer to think about because tapioca pearls need to be cooked and held at specific temperatures for food safety. If your pearls have been sitting in the wrong temperature zone for more than 4 hours, they are basically a science experiment at that point, and not the fun kind. Zoning laws can also stop you cold before you even pop the tent up. Some neighborhoods, parks, or street corners are flat out off limits for commercial vending, so checking with your city's planning department before you commit to a location can save you a very awkward conversation with a parking enforcement officer. Liability insurance is technically optional in most places, but it is one of those things where you really do not want to find out the hard way that you needed it. A general liability policy for a small vendor typically runs around $500 to $800 a year, and it protects you if someone claims your drink made them sick or your tent collapsed on their car. Once you've got your permit stacked up and your setup approved, the actual selling part is the fun part, the one you imagined when you thought of this whole idea. The paperwork is just the price of admission to the world's most delicious side hustle. The vendors who thrive long-term are the ones who treat compliance like part of the brand, not an obstacle to it. When your customers see you operating cleanly and professionally, they trust the drink in their hand, and that trust is worth more than any marketing you could ever buy. If you want to learn more about how our company helps vendors navigate the legal side of running a pop-up business, check out our links in the description.